from the dead for a little bit of theater.
Is it time?
There are so many deep throat jokes I could make right now.
Amazing Technicolor Shit Show.
Hello and welcome. This is Amazing Technicolor Shit Show, the podcast about the fumbles and follies of live theater at all levels. I'm Trev.
And I'm Elle.
And we are still downstairs, not in our studio today.
But not for long.
Not for long.
Yeah, we have power up in our upstairs again. So once we get all of our stuff moved back into our attic studio, we'll be back. So most likely next week we'll be back.
Those of you
like
who
normal.
are accustomed to seeing our pretty faces every Thursday morning,
Yes.
you will soon go back to being graced with our presences visually.
Being visually graced.
Visually graced, not just auditorially graced. So, Elle,
Auditorially graced.
you've got a bit of a doozy for us today. I hear it's a bit macabre.
Yeah, this one, obviously we have a lot of stories that are like kind of bonkers, but this one's a little bit disturbing. So if we have any listeners that are sensitive to such things.
If you're a real pansy.
If you're a sensitive listener, you might not like this one.
Please listen anyway.
But listen at your own risk.
Sounds good. I love that we get... I mean, the podcast is explicit, so...
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't be listening if you don't want to hear some swears.
Well,
that's the only rating system that there is for podcasts. Other than that, it's just the Wild West.
They don't say, is this content gross? Is this content upsetting?
Yeah, this podcast is tagged explicit as well as gross.
And sometimes upsetting.
Every time there's an upsetting moment, I'll make this noise.
This podcast needs to be censored for lascivious mirth.
Places.
Thank you, places. So today we're going to talk a little bit about an outlaw with a really bizarre history. And I promise this is going to wrap around to the performing arts circuit.
Eventually.
It will eventually get there.
Okay.
You know how we say everybody wants to be a star?
Yes.
That's not necessarily the case.
Oh, some people do not want to be stars.
Some people become a star not by their own choice.
They have stardom thrust upon them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elmer McCurdy was born in 1880 in Maine. As a young man, McCurdy trained as a plumber, initially worked pretty successfully, but there was an economic downturn which caused him to lose his job. Unfortunately, the death of his mother and grandfather in 1900 left him without any close family. He traveled through the eastern U.S., working periodically as a plumber and miner, but he developed alcoholism, unfortunately, which made it very difficult for him to maintain steady employment.
Okay.
So already we're seeing kind of a tough life.
Looking good for Elmer.
Not looking good for Elmer McCurdy. In 1905, he was arrested for public intoxication. In 1907, he actually joined the U.S. Army. So while he was there, he received some training involving machine guns and explosives, particularly nitroglycerin.
Oh.
So someone with maybe kind of a little bit of a rough history is definitely the person that the Army thought was a good person to train about how to use explosives and nitroglycerin.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. We're going to give this guy the most responsible and dangerous job.
Yes. Unstable chemicals for an unstable mind.
So, after leaving the Army in 1910, Elmer McCurdy turned to crime. In November 1910, he and a former Army acquaintance were arrested after police discovered burglary tools and equipment associated with explosives. They claimed they were just developing a foot-operated machine gun.
Because that's normal and
Right?
cool.
Because that's totally something that there's a use for.
That's something regular people do.
Yeah. McCurdy was eventually acquitted of this particular crime.
Okay.
But after his release in 1911, he turned to robbery. Using his knowledge of explosives, he attempted to rob banks and trains with nitroglycerin.
A train robber.
Oh, yeah, train robber. So he did have some success robbing trains, but
Wow.
not all of his robberies went according to plan. During one train robbery in Oklahoma, an excessive amount of explosives actually destroyed the safe and most of the money, which left McCurdy and his accomplices with only a few $100s in silver coins.
Blast.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I think a train robber there's something romantic about that idea.
Yeah.
I would love to be a train robber.
There is definitely something kind of exciting and fun
Yeah.
about a train robber.
And like riding around on a horse.
Yeah. Yep.
With a mask on.
Yeah. Turns out other people think this is interesting too. We're gonna get there.
Okay, cool.
McCurdy's final robbery occurred in 1911 in Oklahoma. He and his accomplices intended to rob a train carrying a large amount of money intended for the Osage Nation. Instead, they mistakenly stopped a passenger train.
Ooh.
Their total haul was only $46 and a few other odds and ends. The robbery was described at the time as one of the smallest train robberies in history. McCurdy returned to a friend's ranch where he drank heavily and passed out in a hayloft.
Okay.
Unaware that a reward had been offered for his capture, he was tracked down by law enforcement. This is where things start to get a little grisly. 3 deputy sheriffs surrounded the hay shed where McCurdy was hiding. A gunfight followed, lasting about an hour, and McCurdy was eventually killed by gunshot wound to the chest. This is where things get weird.
Okay.
His body was taken to an undertaker, but as I mentioned earlier, he had no close relatives to claim his body. The undertaker had already embalmed him using arsenic, and rather than just burying him, he put McCurdy on display.
Oh.
Visitors would pay a small fee to see McCurdy, advertised as the bandit who wouldn't give up.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Just like go and gape at the man who robbed a train for $46.
Yep. McCurdy's body raked in cash at this undertaker's office for the next 5 years.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Just a body.
Yep. Just on display for people to pay money to see.
Okay, so this is the theater. Even the dead can perform.
Oh, just wait.
Okay.
It just goes on and on.
Okay.
5 years later, 2 men falsely claimed to be McCurdy's brothers, and they obtained his body, supposedly to take it to California for burial. These men were also nefarious. They were the brothers James and Charles Patterson, who were carnival promoters. They took the body because they planned to exhibit it.
Oh my God.
They billed him as the outlaw who would never be captured alive. The Pattersons eventually sold their whole operation to Louis Sonny, who then incorporated McCurdy into a traveling museum of crime. This exhibit combined McCurdy's actual corpse with wax representations of other famous criminals, like Jesse James and Bill Doolin.
Whoa.
Yep. So
he's just touring around.
He is traveling around.
Oh my God.
His body is touring around.
Wild.
Unbeknownst to him, this was never in his plans.
No.
He
did not yearn for the stage.
He did
but
not
the
yearn for the
chose
stage.
him.
Up next, McCurdy's body went on the road officially in 1928 when he became part of an official traveling sideshow accompanying the Trans-American Foot Race. So his body was no longer confined to one permanent area. He was actually regularly transported all around the country as part of a traveling entertainment troupe.
Oh my God.
It was at this point that his body was actually damaged due to the stresses of travel. It was said that he lost some toes in a windstorm and all kinds of crazy stuff happened to his body while they were traveling around
Is
with
it
him.
is it time? Is it time?
I think we've passed that point. I think you should have done the gag a little earlier.
I think once we got to the toes being lost in a windstorm, that's where it got me.
Yeah. In 1933, filmmaker and exploitation showman Dwayne Esper.
Okay. Job that does sound cool and romantic, train robber. Job that does not sound cool and romantic, exploitation filmographer.
Yep.
Yikes.
So, Dwayne Esper, exploitation showman, acquired McCurdy's body for promo purposes.
Okay.
Esper was promoting his exploitation film called Narcotic, a sensationalistic film about drug addiction. McCurdy's corpse was displayed in theater lobbies as an alleged dead dope fiend.
Okay.
With a completely bogus story to accompanying it.
He's just
So,
a dead guy.
At this point, the real story of who McCurdy was
Yeah.
is very much getting lost in the whole situation.
Yeah.
Now his body is just being paraded around when they need a body. Essentially.
It's just wow. That I mean, this is terrifying, and
Yeah.
this is very spooky that so many people are okay with just a body being out there.
Yep. The amount of people who are complicit
Yeah.
in this illegal thing
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was wild. Mm-hmm. The roaring 20s.
Yeah, not to mention
different
just
time.
the general disrespect of it all is
Yeah.
just insane to me.
Yeah.
For the next several decades, McCurdy's mummified remains were passed around among carnival operators, museums, filmmakers, and attractions.
How long does this embalming last?
Oh, we're going to get there.
Okay.
So he was bought and sold several times, displayed under various false stories, and eventually became part of a haunted funhouse attraction in Long Beach, California,
Just where he always pictured himself.
where visitors believed that he was merely a wax mannequin.
Oh, wow.
By this point, he had naturally mummified. So by this point, he is...
Okay, so this is like he is
So this
inorganic.
is several decades later.
Yeah.
He's not inorganic.
Well, sure,
He's
but
he's naturally mummified
yeah,
quite
he's
a
not
bit.
gonna rot anymore.
Yeah. We're several decades in.
Yeah.
By this point, he had naturally mummified and was only about 50 pounds.
Wow.
And he had been covered in several layers of paint. So this is why now people no longer realize, by the time he's at this attraction in Long Beach, California, people no longer realize that he's a real person.
Hey, he's painted?
Yes. They don't think he's a real person anymore. They think it's just a prop, essentially.
Just go to Halloween Express and buy a little plastic skeleton.
Well, I think that's what they kind of thought was They kind of thought he wasn't real anymore by this point. McCurdy's bizarre afterlife as a performer finally ended in December of 1976.
Jeez.
While the television series The $6 Million Man was filming at the amusement park, a crew member moved the supposed mannequin, accidentally broke its arm, and when human bone and tissue were discovered, this finally led the authorities to investigate.
Wow.
Forensic examination revealed that the body was indeed a man who had died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Clues including a 1924 penny, some old museum tickets, medical evidence, and comparisons of his skull with other photographs eventually established that the body was indeed Elmer McCurdy. In April of 1977, 66 years after his death, McCurdy was finally buried in Guthrie, Oklahoma, and concrete was poured over his coffin to prevent his body from being stolen again.
Yeah.
McCurdy's extraordinary story has actually inspired books, documentaries, and a musical.
A musical,
Yes,
of course.
the musical Dead Outlaw is all about the unsuccessful early 20th century criminal who became one of the most unusual figures in American sideshow folklore.
Wow.
Isn't this just a bonkers story that this type of thing, this is the stuff that actually happened
Yeah.
in the 10s and 20s and 30s. And the fact that it took until 1976 for anyone to realize
Just silly.
that was a real person.
Yeah, and accidentally. It could have been so much longer.
Yes. Honestly, it makes me wonder, like, how many mummies are out there that we think are fake but are actually real mummies.
Yeah.
Like, it really begs the question.
Yeah.
Like, is this fake mummy or real mummy?
Yeah, don't look too closely at your neighbor's Halloween decorations.
Right? Like, who even knows?
And he finally made it on stage. I was wondering when he was going to be in a musical, and
Yes.
he wasn't. But
Yes.
his memory lives on.
But yes, finally, there's a musical about
Dead
his whole
Outlaw.
ordeal as a sideshow performer.
Wild. Oh my gosh, how fun. All right, we got a listener story for you.
All right?
Our listener writes, at the end of the musical Jekyll and Hyde. Oh, by the way, this is going to have spoilers for the musical Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay. In case
Right off
you're
the
not
bat.
familiar with the show.
At the end of the musical Jekyll and Hyde, the actor playing Jekyll/Hyde is getting married, and it looks like he's going to have a happy ending until he turns into Hyde, kills a guest, and then dies by impaling himself on a sword before dying in his true love's arms. Sorry for the spoilers, but this is all to say it's extremely dramatic.
Yeah.
We, as the chorus/wedding guests, all were supposed to look on in horror as the lights fade to black and the curtain closes. Then, since it's pitch black and there are a bunch of people and chairs on stage, some lights come up behind the curtain so we can all find our way backstage and get set up for curtain call. There are never any issues with this all throughout rehearsals. Until opening night, when the death happens and the curtain starts to close, but it catches on something backstage and clicks to a halt halfway closed. We can hear a bunch of hushed whispering backstage. Wordlessly, the whole cast decides to stay frozen as a tableau until the crew can find a way to get the curtain all the way closed. Things happen in theater, the audience will understand, and the show's basically over, so no problem. Unfortunately, two things happen that ruin the moment for everyone in spectacular fashion. First of all, the lights come up. Apparently, the guy running the light board thought that we were all waiting for him to move to the scene change cue. Second, we had all forgotten about the poor actor playing Jekyll/Hyde, who could not see that the curtain was still open. All he knew was that the scene change lights had come up. He is a fun and silly guy in real life, and when I tell you he sprang up to his feet, that is an understatement.
No.
He looked like a cartoon. Immediately, some of us started giggling, as do some audience members from what we can hear. And then we all watch him realize in real time that he's in full view of the audience, and there's not a ton of light on him, but he's certainly visible. And being the goofball that he is, he just has to do one of those vaudeville dance off the stage moves that makes the entire audience laugh and us on stage absolutely fall apart with laughter.
Oh, no.
Poor Jekyll and Hyde reanimates himself, does a little double take to the audience,
Yep.
and skedaddles.
Wow. Death turning into a sideshow
Yeah,
is
this
kind
is
of
amazing.
the theme of the day.
I did not know Elle's story before picking this little listener story.
Wow.
That's really thematically
Yes.
appropriate.
Yes, coming back from the dead for a little bit of theater.
5 minutes.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Five.
Five. All right, Trev. So I told you about an interesting musical.
Yes.
I mentioned Dead Outlaw, which is the story about Elmer McCurdy, and of course his fascinating life and death and afterlife as a performer.
Uh-huh.
Kind of an interesting historical tale that was made into a musical, right? So now we're going to play, is this a musical or not?
Yes.
I'm going to give you some titles and some information about the following, and I want you to tell me, is that an actual musical or did I just make that up?
Okay.
These are all based on historical people or events.
So
all right?
again, we're judging your creativity as an idea come up with her.
Well, but also we're judging these musicals and whether they sound the actual musicals and whether they sound believable or whether they
Right. Okay.
or not.
If
all right?
it's just too crazy.
Yeah, and also your ability to guess.
Yes. Well, I mean, theater people are notoriously wild in the shows that they come up with.
That's true. Anything can be a musical if you try hard enough.
A dead outlaw being carted around as a sideshow can be a musical.
Yeah, anything can be a musical.
All right, hit me.
Floyd Collins, a bluegrass musical about a real-life 1925 cave explorer trapped underground in Kentucky.
Yes, this is a musical.
Yes!
I've heard of this one. I haven't heard the music, though.
Yes, it is. Good. Okay, you've already heard of this one. We'll see if I can pull the wool over your eyes for any of these.
Good.
The Sun King, a stylized French pop rock musical about the life, love, and politics of King Louis XIV.
Ooh, this sounds very up your alley. I think that you wish this musical was real. But
It is real.
It is real. Okay,
It
cool.
is real.
The Sun King.
Yeah,
How fun.
doesn't that sound cool? All right, up next. 1 January, a musical drama about the Great Molasses Flood of 1919 and the corporate
Wow.
corruption that caused the disaster.
Oh, wow. I mean, I would love this musical. I have to guess yes for everything now. Everything could be a musical. I think this is real.
This one I made up.
No, there's not one about the molasses flood.
There should be, though. Shouldn't
Oh my
there?
gosh. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
because that's such an interesting story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wild.
Well, all right.
Get on it, people.
Get on that. Oh, okay. Also, there isn't one that I've found, but that doesn't mean that that like some weird college project
Yes.
doesn't exist.
Someone somewhere.
Someone might
has
have done
put
it.
together a musical.
It's
Yes.
possible.
If it exists, there's a musical of it.
Probably. All right, your next one. Bright Lights and Loud Sirens, a rock opera based off of the alleged 1951 alien abduction of Betty and Barney Hill.
Oh wow, that's fun. Oh man, this is cute. I gotta say yes because I want it to be real so bad.
I made it up.
Oh my god, that would rock as a musical.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Like a knee slapping bluegrass time.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. But then like with weird alien elements as
Yeah.
they're like telling their stories and trying to get everybody wild up about it.
Yeah. All right, your next one.
Uh-huh.
Leonardo the Musical, a musical that tells a fictionalized love triangle which involves artist Leonardo da Vinci, Mona Lisa, and a nobleman in Renaissance Italy.
Oh, weird. Yeah, this sounds real. And it doesn't sound like something that you would make up. I think that this is real and it's like some very, very small production, like just those 3 characters. That sounds pretty plausible.
It is real. You
Yeah.
are correct. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just like so heady.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like they watched Sunday in the Park with George and said, I can do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
All right. And your last one, Watergate, a musical
Oh, for
featuring
sure.
Richard Nixon doing several soft shoe numbers.
Oh my god! If this doesn't this absolutely exists. If you're going to tell me that this doesn't exist, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong and you just haven't found it because a Nixon musical called Watergate 100% exists.
Yes, it does. Of course it exists. And this particular 1982 musical does, in fact, feature Nixon doing the soft shoe.
That's so cute. Oh my god, let's do it. That's so fun.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah, totally.
We
I want
love
to play Deep Throat. Do you think I can handle that? The right.
There are
right
so
choice.
many deep throat jokes I could make right now,
That's
and
true.
I am not going to do it because this episode is already rated gross for the disturbingness of the content. We don't need it also to be sexually explicit as
And because
well.
I've gagged already too many times during the episode. Gotcha.
Good one.
This has been Amazing Technicolor Shit Show. Thanks so much for listening. go ahead and send us your stories. We need all sorts of stories from on stage and off stage and in the wings and in the audience and in the production booth and wherever else locations you can be in when a show is going on. Go ahead and send us those stories at amazingtechnikolershow.com or to our email at amazingtechnikolershow@gmail.com.
Sometimes listening to you do our credits is just a hoot.
I just think of the words maybe a half second after they leave my mouth.
You know, you could never be one of those auctioneers, I don't think. I don't think that's going to be in the cards for you.
Our stage manager, one stage manager, two stage managers, Daniel Schneider, and accompanist.
I knew you were not going to get accompanist.
Give me 3 accompanists. Do I hear 4 accompanists? Is Paul Thelen. If you like the show, go ahead and leave us a good review and get a good rating on all the podcast apps and tell your friends about us. If you don't like the show, go ahead and tell your enemies, and we will cart around their dead corpse for all to see and pay a nickel to gawk at.
Well, that was dark.
You brought it up. Thank you so much again for listening, and we wish you all the very best. And whatever you're up to, be it on stage, off stage, or in your life,
Break a leg.
Amazing Technicolor Shit Show.